Oh my goodness. It has been so long now, has it? It has been a couple of weeks, and I can acknowledge that. uh, I am terribly sorry. I remember last time we were streaming, I told you guys, hey, we'll have a stream on, what was it again? The 30th of December because I wanted one more stream before the end of the month and the end of the year, which yeah, it's 2025. Yay us. This year. Holy crap. Likewise, I did say that I was going to do that, but obviously did I do that? No. I didn't do that because I just was like I don't want to. Well, there's more to it. A lot of it is just making sure that I had my players because this session is something else. And I am going to say sorry in advance if you hear any outside noise that comes through my mic. I have my heater on. I don't think it would pick up because of how far away it is. But just in case you hear it, I have a heater and it's sometimes extremely loud. Not as loud as the old one though. On top of that, what else? There's a couple other things as well. Let me just tell you guys all that has happened since last session. There's been quite a bit. They did leave Athabus and were on the road. They met the travelers that were taking a dragon. Yep, a dragon to her island that we learn, because there is an island where she lives with a friend of hers. And she was apparently held captive in some spot. It's not entirely said, at least from my end. It was never said where she was held captive, and the whole issue there as well. So they managed to get out through that without a fight. All they did was just like tell the people that were after them, "Hey, fuck off," which I adore them. I keep forgetting that as a DM, I can just start initiative whenever the fuck I want to, which that is fucking hilarious. So, either way, I gotta remind myself that. Fear me. Either way, they got to Sanctum, which I will let you guys know. I do not know, and I cannot remember how to pronounce it because I think it has a little bit of Spanish in it, and I suck at speaking Spanish. If it's not Spanish, then I'm just stupid. So for the time being, I just call it Sanctum, just because it gets the point across of this place. Little other context for those who don't know, Sanctum is a giant town. It is almost having the exact same population as what is considered a small city, but they just don't want to be a city. They make that very well known. They will never be considered a city, but you know, some places are different amongst others. So even though one place will be like, I am not this, they will still be like, what you are, you know. Either way, this place is well known for the fact that there are so many different races that it's shocking that they all live here. There's that. There's the fact that half races are very much a common thing. You very rarely will see just a full-on, just normal family, quote-unquote, due to D&D. But on top of that, Sanctum has a very unique government system, which is unlike every other city, which is either a, like, ruled by a king, queen, such and such, or a mayor, or however anybody else does it. They do it based off of, they elect people into a government body, and they're supposed to represent their kind of side, a way of putting it. But they do not let their own beliefs get in the way of what their people want. So if their people want something, they kind of have to go into it unless it violates a law of theirs that they already have in place. Which that does not mean the law cannot just be removed. But, you know, they don't want to do that. Either way, they got there and they took a rest. They did play with the deck of wonders, wonders. And they had fun with that, except for one. Could not sleep for the life of day, I will say that. But either way, they had a very eventful day, especially with meeting Spire, which is my character from the Walking Fish, aka Black Sabbath. But this Spire is completely different in a lot of ways. One being, yeah, they're just a Triton. They are not a mutant in any kind of way. They are just a normal Triton who very much loves and adores beasts, monsters, you name it. They love it all. To them, that is nature, and there's a lot of story behind all that. A lot of which I cannot per se reveal, as that is deep lore into their character, which is not the centerpiece of the entire story. Either way, we are gonna turn back to the players. I just have to add someone in because we finally have our one player back. None of their own fault. Shit happens. It happens, you know. It always happens. Either way, let me just switch to ta-da. Let me add a little thing real quick. You're gonna see a little bit of how this works. There's this. There's a little bit of that. A little bit of this. We got the reactive. There it is. Oh yeah. I will be trying to get this character to be introduced today in some kind of fashion. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna figure it out. I feel like that's good enough. Let me just lock it. I'm just trying to figure out if everything else looks good. I gotta remind a player. Hold on. There we go. I'm trying to think of anything else that needs to be said beforehand. Likewise, we're just going to be introducing the players today. If you are seeing this on YouTube, hello, hi there. We're getting back into this. Also, a little note, yes, this has been moved to Tuesdays, either permanently or for the time being. It's just going to be helpful. We could go back and forth between Mondays and Tuesdays, just depending, since it seems to work for a lot of people. Either way, we're gonna meet some characters now, aren't we? If I can get to the right page. It's the players. Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Or.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Would you guys like a little recap of what happened last session?
We
Yeah.
wait on Casper.
We can definitely wait and see. Let me add them real quick. Oops, if I can do that. Hold on. Hold on.
There we go.
Okay. Sorry about that. My cat was doing something stupid that she should not have been doing. Okay. Oh, it looks like they went offline. Let me just see what's up. But yeah, everybody doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Sweet.
Yippee!
Oh boy.
I have a session tonight at 11 p.m. EST.
Nice.
Wow.
It's so late. I'm running it.
I'm
Oh,
so fucking tired.
Oh boy.
Oof.
We gotta move to the same time zone.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Unless you all move
Everyone
over
else
here, I'm not
to
doing
Dayton,
shit.
Ohio.
No. God, no.
Listen, we have spaghetti in warehouse and
Unless
10
everyone's
foot
coming to
piles of snow.
GMT, no.
Yeah, I would not ask
You don't
anyone
want to
to
have
move
to
to the
wait through
US.
10 feet of snow.
Everyone, fly to Greenwich Meridian time.
I'm fine, dog.
I'll manage.
Imagine having multiple time zones in your country.
I'm so
Imagine only having one
Americanized
nerd.
that I don't think going to Europe would work for me.
Yeah.
Probably hurt my schedule more when it helps it.
Okay.
And show up and they'd be like, get her out.
Yeah.
Send her home.
Mm. Okay.
I'd be like, how many miles is it to the nearest Kmart? And they'd be like, ma'am.
Ma'am, this is a Walmart.
They'd be like, ma'am, this is a Walmart.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not too sure if they're going to be able to make it.
We're not gonna make it. No, we're not
Oh
gonna
no,
make
we
it.
ain't
We're not gonna make it anymore.
anymore.
Oh boy.
I'm having a Michelinda calendar sweet and sour chicken, and then I added some extra cabbage to it.
Nice. Yeah. I think they probably went off to do something. It's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Happens to the best of us.
But still, a little recap to help.
Mm-hmm.
So, last session you guys left Athebus. You, oh, can my mic actually pick me up? Hold on. I'm gonna change that real quick because my
Yeah, you're cutting out a bit.
yeah, I always have it on crisp. We're gonna do standard, so I can always be heard. But yes, you guys left Athebus, and you were making your way to Sanctuum. You met a small party that was helping trekking along to Thebes, and if I remember correctly, a little bit later, or like a couple seconds later or so, you had a cart of people who was after the original party come up and was like saying they have someone that was ours at another place. Whole issue there. But you guys managed to handle it pretty good. I had to remind myself there for stream that I can just do initiative whenever I want. But either way,
Yeah.
you guys handled it pretty good. You managed to scare them off, especially with the help of the one cleric, who also told them, go away or else. And you guys learned that what they were carrying, or not really carrying, but like help traveling with, was actually a dragon who was polymorphed, which she can do herself. Because she is a bronze dragon, which I had to look up and make sure that they can just kind of do it anyways. So then that happened. And then along the way, got into the swampy area. It was a bit hard to get through. Took some time. And then you guys were just dealing with a little bit of a trickster there for a moment. Not too sure who the hell it was there. But then you realized, with the help of, I'm trying to remember his name, Kron, because he can just look in the water and came to realize, oh, this is just a person messing with us. And it was, lo and behold, Spire. But this is not the normal Spire from the Walking Fish Black Sabbath. No, this was just different, but about the same. And they were just like,
Different spire.
yeah, different Spire. But you realize they weren't really trying to hurt you guys. They just wanted to mess with you a little bit. There's no harm to them, is it? Well, there could have been harm, but they weren't trying.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, they were just doing it. And they told you guys about how where you guys were walking was technically their land, but some people don't listen to that, and a whole bunch of other issues I don't quite remember them talking about. But either way, they led you all the way to Sanctum and told you guys they're not going any further. They don't want to be there. And it's more like kind of equal terms, I guess, or equal on both sides. Yep, you guys walked into Sanctum, and you guys realized that this place is very much different in a lot of different ways. One just being the fact that Sanctum just has almost in every single race you can think of, except for probably one group, because, well, they're not there yet. But you saw a lot of different types of people. You saw Dragonborns, Aarakocrans, humans, elves, half-elves, halflings, dwarves, you name it, they were there. You also realized that a lot of the people there were also had half-race children as well. Saw a couple that were very unique. Some that could almost pass for like full-on dragons because they had wings. But either way, besides the shock, you guys made your way in. You found, to some, it's a small castle, but to some who have never seen a castle, it was a large castle, and it was a bit weird. Never heard of one being there, and like I said, it doesn't quite make sense for the surrounding area. But then you ran into someone named Nyx, who works in that castle, and they talk to you and realize you guys are of great importance, especially Auric. Especially for where you came from, Auric. You were very highly important to them. So they brought So they brought you guys in, got to meet some of the others. A lot of them didn't not introduce themselves, but with the help of James, the little halfling, he told you everybody's name and told you that if you need anything, you can explore the castle, but just be careful. There could be people there that are being weird. They're just weird people. Nothing malicious, just they're weird. And it's like, why are you here? And then afterwards, you guys got to have a little bit of fun with the Duck of Wonders. Yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah, that was fun. Maybe not for everybody, but it was fun nonetheless.
As a whole, I'd say it turned out quite nicely.
Yeah, like I said, it's not the deck of many things, so no one died and no one got their soul sucked out of their body, so there's a plus there.
Yep.
So, yep, you guys end up going to bed, and that is where we left off. And there wasn't too many issues falling asleep, I would say. The night was very nice, especially for the beds that you guys were in. No matter, even if you thought you'd been on the most comfiest bed, these beds are different. And even to those who had only been on like a standard bed, these were nice. So yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my thoughts in gear of what all's gonna happen.
No
It's
problem.
okay.
So let me get my phone that has my notes. Oh, that's very pretty art. Let's look at the note. Oops, that's not the right notes. These are the notes. Okay. So yeah. I'll say you guys rest very well. For those who are only needing a short amount of rest, depending on what you want to do, you could wake up early like usual and just kind of do whatever you feel like doing, or if you just kind of want to stay in the bed thinking about how life has been so far, you can do either or. And for those who still need your full night's rest, you still end up doing that. I know Oric, you are a full elf. Leon, Octavia is a half elf, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then Evelyn, your character still needs, I think, full night's rest, if I remember, for changelings. That's what they need.
Hmm.
And then for Braille, trying to think.
I'm not here.
Yeah, you're in the town. You're somewhere. You're minding your own business. You're sleeping.
Imagine sleeping 8 hours a night. Couldn't be me.
Well, I'm forcing your characters to get 8 hours of sleep. You hear me?
Guys, talking about sleep is really not helping me.
Sorry. Either way.
Oh.
I'm so fucking tired.
I know. This will go
I
by. This will go by very quickly. I promise you that. It'll be fun. Either way, or since you don't need much, you wake up. Like I said, you're up before everybody else. Do you just want to stay in your room, or do you kind of?
Yeah, Oric just stays in his room thinking things over and getting ready for everything he's gonna have to talk about in front of the council.
Okay. Yep. For you, a lot of what you're thinking of is just remembering the events that unfolded before what all happened to you happened, and trying to very vividly remember, like, a lot of details as much as you possibly can. Trying to remember the king, the princess, everything. And a lot of it does come quite easy, since what happened to you was only mere seconds, but for the rest of the world, that was a long time.
Yep.
But as time goes, the sun's coming up, and naturally everybody's waking up at their own time. And, stretches, getting yourself ready, getting yourself ready or not status is all good. But either way, you come into life and you're kind of ready to deal with the day. But at the same time, all of you are really much more far away from home, especially for Octavia. You're so used to being in Athabus, you probably have never been outside of it, maybe once or twice. Or you really do want to go back home, but currently can't. Evelyn,
There's no home to go back to, not yet.
yeah. Evelyn,
Huh?
you're just thinking. You're thinking about what you're gonna do, and
Yeah.
how you're gonna get there. But yeah, you would all. Yeah, I'll let you guys decide. You're gonna leave your guys' room and look out, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yep, you come outside, and the first thing that you guys hear is a lot of noise. Not like harsh, nothing like concerning, but it is pretty loud. It's like there's a lot of people coming through. You hear a lot of footsteps. And when you look over the railings, you just see so many people not rushing, not that. They're walking, but they're making their way inside the castle. And they're going to that spot that Nyx, the fire genasi, took you to, which was those doors that were underneath. And at first, it's confusing. It's like, why are there so many people? Like, what's going on? You can like see all the different types of people still, but at the doors, you notice two giant, well, frost giants, and they look very similar to Wolfguard. Yeah, Wolfguard. And you're not too sure if they could be related. I mean, they're very similar in nature, but they could just be other people as well. But it's very confusing. You're not too sure what to make of a whole lot of it, to be honest. But when you look to the left, what was his name again? You see Will. He was the only human on the council, and you notice him just standing at the top of the stairs. He's just kind of watching the people.
Oh, good morning.
He looks over, and he just smiles. He's like, "Oh, Hey there. Good morning to you guys, too. You guys sleep okay?
Better than I have in a long time.
Yeah, those beds are rather nice. It's not often that some of us get to sleep in them, but it's nice to hear how other people feel about them. And he looks at each one of you guys. He looks at you, Evelyn. It's just like, you look like you didn't get too much sleep. Are you okay?
I'm alright.
Okay. If you need anything, we got our little cafeteria area. There's some food, maybe something to perk you up. Yeah, but if you don't need anything, that's a-okay as well. Just want you to all be ready to go and ready to talk.
Yes, well, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah. It usually is when it's a day of everybody coming through, getting their seats, ready to do their jobs, whether they're picked or not. But he looks down at the group and back at you guys and just tells you, hey, whatever you do, just wait with me for a second, okay? Just don't go down there just yet.
I'm in no hurry.
Good. Because I don't want you guys to get lost in there. Because we have some seats just for you guys that are being blocked off so that no one can sit in them. Even though I know there will be a couple that will complain and be like, but I like sitting there. Because, yeah, everybody thinks they have assigned spots. No one does. Sit where you want. But for you guys in particular, you guys have special spots, okay? It's going to be the easiest for you guys to get onto our little platform area so that we can discuss things and so your voices can be heard. But as he says that, he goes back to watching some of the people. And as you guys also look out at the crowd, it's kind of feels like it's never ending. Like, you're not. It's so weird that so many people would come to quote unquote an event. I don't know the proper terms for government, but something like this. Whether
A gathering?
yeah, that's a large gathering. Yeah, that's correct. But it feels weird, especially for you, Oric. You, with how Eltron worked, you and the royal family weren't entirely part of any kind of government work unless absolutely needed, which was not very rarely, but it was rare enough that it didn't happen often. But seeing so many people come to this, it's unreal. Because like I said, in Eltron, this is not common. Most people, regular civilians, they didn't care about anything government related unless they were just watching from outside the castle. But this is just a sight to be seen. It's unique.
Things really changed so much since my time.
Oh, he just looks at you. He's like, here we do things very differently. You see, all these people, and his arms are outstretched as he says this, all these people, they're called the witness. It can sound intimidating at first, but some of these people are volunteers. About majority of the people are volunteers. And we have some that we handpicked because we trust their instincts and we trust their insights. And others are randomly picked. We will send a message out to them saying you are now going to be in this spot. And they have to show up. Now, they don't always have to, but we recommend it. Just so we get fresh new eyes. And it just helps us understand what everybody wants. Some people have needs that need to be met, and some people have concerns that need to be heard. So if we get a random selected amount of them, we'll know exactly what's going on. Because, I mean, seeing the people out there, there's so many of them, it's hard to keep track of them. So it's just easier to do this.
I suppose that stands to reason.
I don't know how where you came from did it, but I bet it's way different. And I bet even in Atheabus, maybe, it's probably different as well. But as you go back to looking at the people, you notice it's slowly dying down. There's less people coming through. And as the last couple of groups come through, both frost giants at the doors slowly start going to close the doors. And as they do it, doors just thud together. And both giants turn and watch as the rest of the people file in. And in doing so, Will just looks back at you guys and just is like, give it one more second. Ravine's coming through. He likes coming through last, and I like walking with him. And as he says that, right next to him, a whole very weird portal right next to him just opens up, and out comes Ravine in his much newer kind of attire, the ones that are in the characters. That is exactly what all of them are wearing specifically. Oh, I can. Yeah, just like this. And Ravine just looks at Will. He has a little bit of a smile. And then he looks over at you guys. And he kind of waves. But so yeah. Will just looks back at you guys. Just goes, okay. You guys follow behind us. That way we can lead you down the steps. And we can show you where you need to go. Okay?
Very well.
Okay. So you guys follow behind Will and Ravine. You see the two almost shoulder to shoulder, headed about almost the same height, just kind of talking to each other in whispers. You can't quite grasp what they're saying per se, unless you know how to read lips. But hearing wise, you can't really tell what they're saying. But it doesn't seem to be anything towards you guys, at least from what you can gather. But either way, you guys go through the big doors, and the entire room that was once chattering, all the noise around you, dies down. It's not an awkward silence, but it's one that, for some of you, it kind of gives you a little bit of goosebumps. Because it's different kind of quiet than before. It's not one of, it's all empty. It's one of, you have eyes locked on you. And there are hundreds of them. So many different eyes looking at you. Some of them you can catch. Some of them you can't quite tell. But there's a lot of them. And I would say for you, Octavia, it's really no different than being on stage. It almost feels the exact same way as an entertainer. So realistically, you're not fazed by it. You, Evelyn, you're kind of uneased a little bit. You're kind of like, ugh, so many people watching.
Could I add a bit of input?
Yeah, go for it.
That would not be her reaction.
Okay, what would her reaction be then? Tell us.
She's a politician.
Ah, so this to you.
She's
nothing.
a member of, albeit fake, royalty.
Yes, okay, right. To you.
She's attended these sorts of political meetings before. Not quite to this scale, but...
Yeah, okay. Then do you...
She's lied before.
Okay, then for you, yeah. Same as Octavia, but a little bit different. It's just more of a same old, but it could be slightly intimidating due to the number of people. But you're
mutters
still like...
Mutters under her breath. It's showtime.
So yeah, for you, you're able to just brush off any extra eyes off of you. You're just like whatever. For you, Auric, it's a little bit intimidating, but you
Right.
try to keep your spirits up. You're just like, I got this. You're like, I got this. None of this is gonna try to deteriorate you from what you want to say.
Yep.
Hundreds of eyes, you say?
Yeah, I could almost give you an exact number too, if you want to know that.
Hundreds of all-seeing eyes.
Do you guys want to know how many eyes are looking at you?
Sure,
Not
why not?
particularly.
Okay. I'll let you know. It's a lot. Let me find it. Okay. So,
Davia loves attention.
so currently there is a total of 459 people in that building.
Sheesh. So that's
That's just for the witnesses.
800 and nope, that's five.
Reminder, that's just for
God,
witnesses.
you throw me off. That's 501 set. Sorry, 502 eyes.
And that's just from the witnesses. There are you guys, and then there's obviously Ravine and Will. There's some of the frost giants who are standing guard, and then the people at the very bottom. To which, how tall are some of you guys?
I believe I made
let's-
Octavia petite. I think she's like 5'5".
5'5"?
6'3".
6'3". Evelyn?
Hmm. Well, it varies, obviously.
Well, yeah, but in your current form.
Relatively tall. Well, 5'10".
Okay. So yeah, for you, Auric, you're able to look over both Ravine and Will's heads very easily, and you see at the very bottom the same set of chairs that you guys saw the day prior, but you see Wolfguard, you see Nyx, you see James, I'm trying to remember everybody else, and you see Key, not in their chairs, but they're standing at their chairs, but they're waiting, and they're very well. The only one you can see their face is Nyx, and her face is very neutral. But still, you guys make your way down, and just as you're about to be at the very last couple steps, Ravine keeps walking forward to his chair and will slightly turn, and he gestures towards the empty seats to his right, and he goes, "These seats are yours. You guys can pick which seats you would like to be in. There are no names attached to them. And just be careful, okay?"
Be careful of what?
Well, try not to tell some of the people around you what your guys are going to talk about. The people around you can be a little nosy. Just try to ignore them, and don't let them distract you. That's what I'm going to say. Like I said, they gossip a lot.
I see. Well, thank you for the warning. And Oric will head over to whichever of the chairs is the closest.
Okay. And then Evelyn and Leanne, which seats would you like to take?
I will set to the left of Oric.
Okay. Sitting on the chairs, yeah, okay. And then for you, Evelyn.
I don't know.
You just want to sit next to Octavia?
Yeah, sure.
Then yep, you guys
Yeah.
take your seat, and likewise, you kind of, but all you hear some whispers behind your head. a lot of them are going, and you can almost kind of feel their fingers pointing at you guys, going, "Are these the people? Are you sure?" Some of them are kind of like normal looking, and you hear a couple others going, "Well, yeah, I mean, they have the weird elf, and I guess the other two are relatively normal, I guess." And you hear someone else just go, "How do we even know that these are for real people?" And like I said, a lot of it just comes at you from the same perspective as always. So you're just all kind of hearing the voices around you, just all whispering different things.
Orc just tries to take deep breaths and tune it out.
Okay. I'm guessing everybody else is just also doing something similar where they're just kind of blocking out the noise.
Oh no, Octavia loves it. She's fucking basking in this attention.
You're probably listening to everything just going, well, you probably thinking to yourself, well, yeah, I am important. I am part of this. I know what I'm doing.
She's like, I'm doing so good.
For you, Evelyn, you're probably maybe doing something.
Everyone else is having an anxiety episode, and she's just there like, yippee!
Yeah. I'd probably assume for you, Evelyn, you're doing something similar to Auric, just kind of blocking it all out, probably. Or maybe tuning in.
Kind of just like kind of just sitting there and blending in while also standing out.
Okay. But yeah, at least for you, Evelyn, you do hear a couple people that their whispers are more towards you, but could you tell me your passive perception real quick?
Oh. 10.
Okay. For some of them, you can kind of hear, and for others, you're not too sure. You just slightly hear some of the words they're saying, which a lot of it is just, who is that person? They stand out so much. And another person, you can hear a little bit of a slap coming from one side of them, who's just going, be respectful. Some people are going to be different. You can't just judge. That's why we live here. You know that. And then you hear bickering from those two, but it's more quiet. You hear a couple others a little bit to the side. Yeah, more towards just your side, who are just like, huh, a changeling. Never thought one would want to help Elteron, but
Wait, she's in elf form.
okay. Then in their case, it's more just them just being more still curious.
It's a political meeting. Of course, she's going to be in the form she's most used to being in political meetings with.
Yeah.
She's literally technically supposed to be on a political quest.
Yeah.
And definitely not running away from her family.
Yeah. And I will say for you, Braille, you do hear these people because you are close to the party, but you're not like in like hearing distance to them, but you can hear the people around them, and like what you're saying, you're just thinking to yourself, why are these people talking so much crap about these group of people? Like you're probably just shaking your head thinking, what the fuck? But either way, just as everything happens, everybody's attention immediately draws towards Wolfguard, who he starts speaking in different kind of languages. Some of them you understand for those who might know him. It's all different kinds, and it's all different greetings of saying hello, hi there, and addressing some of the group of people who can speak those languages, and then going back to common and saying, welcome everybody to a very highly important meeting. I know a lot of you have gotten the messages that your attendance was highly important, and you've been told about, well, roughly told about what is going on. All will come to soon, but obviously we have to start with the usual kind of things that we gotta do. And you could see him. You could see every one of the people that you met the other day scooting their chairs, and most of them taking a seat besides Wolfguard. And he calls out, his voice booming as he says this. He's like, "Is there any minor complaints before we continue?" And for a second, nothing. No one says anything. No one wants to say anything. But you kind of, far in the distance here, some people kind of standing up. You hear their chairs moving. And you see a lot of them. Well, not a whole lot, but you see a small group of people. You could probably guess roughly 10 people. All of them are saying something, definitely in a language you guys don't know. It's a language. And you see Wolfguard turn his head, and in the same language, you see him, well, you hear him saying something. Like I said, not too sure. But as soon as he says whatever the hell he's saying, that group of people goes quiet, and they sit down. And he turns to the crowd again, and says once again, "Is there any valid complaints that we must address?" And again, silence. And then so, he goes, "Okay then, Nix, would you like to start with the whole meeting?" And as he does so, he goes and gets his chair out, and he takes a seat, and you see Nix standing up, and she goes from her side of where her chair is sitting, which is, I'm trying to think of the general location. For you guys, she's not close to you. She has to walk in a half circle, almost, to be in your guys' general good view, like in your, like, what are they called?
Vicinity?
Yeah, vicinity type area. And she goes on, and her voice also booms. She starts, "Good people of Sanctuum, you are all here, for we have very important news that must be talked about urgently." You see her fists going into her hand as she says urgently. "We have been informed of our greatest fear. One of the cities has fallen." And as soon as she says fallen, a whole roar of voices erupt all around you. And it's loud as hell. So many people saying, "How could this happen? What's going on? Which city is it?" Some people, which is a very small amount, you can kind of hear, are cheering, which confuses a lot of you. And for you, Oric, you hear a couple cheers and you feel anger burn inside you for a moment, thinking, why would people cheer for that? Why would people want a city to fall? And as soon as you think that, Nyx then moves her hands in a motion that silence everybody. She goes, "Relax, relax, relax. This is a great atrocity. Whether you have liked this city or not, I know a couple do not like it. But either way, this city is highly important for the balance of Thea, the great planet that we live on. For this city to have fallen means that they could come after us. They could come after our neighbors. They could come after anybody. We cannot let this have happened. But we are very fortunate, for we have a group of people," and she motions towards you guys, And she goes, "We have a group of people here on a mission to help bring El Toran back from a devastating grave that it's in currently. They are going to bring this city back and defeat the foes that have caused this. But all we need is a vote. That is all we are looking for. As much as, like I said, some of us did not want this to happen, or whether we wanted this to happen." And you see her head not slowly, it snaps to a couple people off to the right-hand side. And you can't see their reactions, but you could probably guess they are in deep shit. They're being looked at. But Nyx continues. "These group of people are going to do the right thing. And I'm going to have them come up and explain what they know about with this catastrophe that has happened." And she looks back at you guys, and you see her hand extend out, and she motions for you guys to come up.
Oric will stand up first and approach her chair.
Okay? And then for the other two, you follow in suit.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay?
I was gonna say, Octavia kind of waves to the crowd.
You do that, and off in the far distance, Octavia, you can see a hand reaching out and waving. And then you see another hand reaching for that hand and bringing it down. And still, people are being quiet. They don't want to interrupt. Nyx, with her hand still outstretched, walks you guys onto the platform and had you guys stand very close to where she was once standing and have you guys face out to the large crowd. And she goes, "These brave people have come to us. And I know one of them in particular knows a lot about what's going on. Let them explain what they know and hear what they wish to have happened. And then afterwards, we will go into session and discuss on what needs to be done. And please do not do anything that you don't want to be in prison for. You got me?" As she says that, a little bit of fire dances off of her shoulder. And depending on who's right next to her, you feel the normal heat you get from her feels like a small torch. But when that happens, it almost feels like a bonfire just went up. And as soon as that goes out, it's back to the normal torch feeling. And in turn, she goes and stands off to the side and looks at you guys and just kind of puts her hand up to her mouth. That way no one else can see her, at least crowd-wise, and goes, "Whenever you are ready." And then goes back and stands. This one's up to you guys. Who wants to talk first?
Alright, I mean, I guess it would make sense for Oric to go first under the circumstances.
Okay. Go for it.
So, Oric stands up and faces the crowd and says, "Greetings. My name is Oric Limion, and I am, to my knowledge, the last surviving royal guard of Eltaron.
You do that.
I can confirm..."
Oh.
Yep, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you do that and you hear our gasps at first, and then immediately you hear a lot of people just shushing each other, like, shush, 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 quiet.
I can confirm, regrettably, that yes, the city has fallen. I was there on its final day. At first, there was someone, we still don't know their identity, they wore a robe, but they came into the throne room and demanded something of the king. They were laughed out, and then when they remained, they were escorted out. But then the next day, they came back with a larger group than I ever would have seen, ever would have thought possible for such low people to have organized, and it was a slaughter. I remember seeing the king with an arrow through his chest. I heard the queen scream. I heard the eldest princess. I saw her flee. I only hope she's still alive. And then I felt something stab me in the back. And I suppose I should tell the full truth here today, but I haven't even shared it with anyone else, in respect for this council and in the interest of forward progress. I next awoke months later in the Cave of a Dragon.
Okay. You say that dragon part, and more people kind of start talking, going, "Dragon? What dragon?" And they're all kind of trying to speculate which dragon it could have been. And then once again, they try to shush each other, but it's getting harder to do. So Nyx comes forward a little bit and basically tells everybody to shut up, let him speak, and then looks back at you and just goes, "You may continue when you are ready," and then walks back.
I would not expect anyone else to have known of them, given their seclusion. Their name, or at least what they told me, was Lucian. I do not claim to know their full agenda or why they saved me from death, but in doing so, I have been given an opportunity to return and to save Elteron from those who have taken it and made a mockery of the beauty that once was my city. And I fully intend to use whatever resources and whatever support I am given to ensure that the city is restored. Thank you. And he sits back down.
Okay. You do that, and more voices are slowly coming up, but they're trying to be more of a whisper. But a couple of them are not good at that. And Nyx looks at both you, Evelyn, and Leanne, and they both look at you and go. And her voice is casting out to the crowd as well, and she goes,
Sorry about that.
It's all good. She just goes, "And you two, I assume, are with him?"
Yes, we're all traveling together.
Okay.
I am regent. No, I am of a regent family of another land, but I have come here on a diplomatic mission, which has taken a turn when I discovered this party. I am with him.
Okay. And she turns to the crowd once more, and Nyx just goes, "As you can see, these fine group of adventurers, mercenaries if you want to call them, are needing our help. They wish to bring Elteron back. So far, from Oric's stance and remembering, and hold on, his memory, the king has fallen. For all we know, the queen could still be alive, but more importantly, the princess. She was next in line, that we know of. If she is still alive, she could take over." And she looks over at you, Auric, with sympathy in her eyes. And she goes, "If we can find her, that would be much importance, as you have stated, as the king is dead. If we cannot find her, then we have bigger problems as well. But either way, you all can discuss on what you would like to do as the witnesses, but we will take our leave at the moment." And as she is stating that, and as all the other councilmen are getting up from their chairs, In the far distance, you hear group after group after group. And it's along the back side, at the very top of where you all came from, where the doors are. You hear tons of people roaring, each one by one. And it's hard to hear what they're initially saying because it's all like jumbled up. But the more and more people are doing this, the more and more people are joining in. And there's definitely a couple people that are not joining in on it. But you have almost an entire area surrounding you all just chanting. Some of them are definitely in languages you might know, some you don't. A lot of it just in common. But a lot of it is still jumbled. You can catch a couple where it's saying disgrace, disgrace. Others are just stating let it fall. And there's definitely a couple others that are saying be gone, don't let them come back. And hearing a lot of it, Wolfguard comes in front as he got up from his chair better. You can in just a second, Braille, okay? Just in a second, okay? Likewise, Wolfguard gets in front and tries to usher all you guys that are still, like, on the stage back, trying to get you away from the crowd. And you see Ravine. He's not the timid self that you had once met. Instead, you see someone who is prepared. He was ready for this. You see him dashing forward from his chair. It knocked over as well. You see him dashing forward, and you see magic coming from his hands. And a language that is slightly unknown, but you can guess it has something to do with magic. You see him cast above. Wait, man. you see Ravine casting what looks like a giant cloud amongst the entire crowd. And
Oh shit.
depending on if you are looking in that direction, you just see the cloud just slowly go down upon the crowd. And in the midst of the cloud, a couple seconds later, going back up, you hear in the distance just a gunshot go off.
Oh shit.
Am I cool to take the wheel here, Saul?
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry,
Cool.
sorry.
So good.
my
You
phone.
see in the distance this like about 4 foot tall woman with a artificer's attire, very much a apron, a bag to her waist, skirt, blue shirt, long ears of a bunny, golden amber eyes. And you see she is riding atop something. She's riding on the back of this massive, like 7 foot tall, great mastiff of a beast. And
Oh hell yeah.
she goes like, well, folks, I don't think it's quite nice to interrupt such a lovely meeting. I think y'all should learn some manners. Else you meet my pepper box.
Yeah. As you hear the voice off in the distance, you also see Ravine's cloud go back up, and then dissipate. And then the entire crowd relaxes a little bit. They
Oh no.
seem to have just calmed down. Whether it was from the cloud itself or the gunshot, people go back to their seats. They're done chanting. They're done.
What?
They're just done. They're like, okay, we're done.
Ah, yes, the famous reaction to a gunshot in the crowd.
Magic, man.
Ominous?
Hey,
It has to be.
there's something more to that cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. She kind of looks around and just goes like, well, they seem to resolve it. They'll always resolve it, for sure.
Who was? Do we see a victim? Who was shot?
No, she just shot in the air. Calm
Yeah.
down.
Oh, it was a one shot. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
that
I'm not
makes
gonna
a
kill
lot
anybody.
more sense.
After, like I said, everybody calms down. Everybody's back in their seat. Yes. Yes, that's how you do it. That's how everybody does it.
Yep.
Likewise.
It just works.
But as like I said, everybody's relaxing. Ravine comes back and he is much more he's shaking. You can see his hands are shaking. He thinks that he did something cuz to him he thought he just did something stupid. But you see Will come up behind him and put his arm, his hand on his shoulder. And you see him whisper to him. And you probably guess it's words of, you're okay. You got this. You did the right thing. And then you hear Wolfguard voice way more louder than it was in the seats. Call out, okay, whose gun was that? Speak up.
And up I go. And I run.
Oh no.
And as you see a little bunny human running off, you just see Wolfguard turn and you see him say something. And you see 2 frost giants just going after.
I have a 40 movement speed because I'm on the back of my steel defender, so
They're still
you
going
know.
Yeah, they're still going after you.
Fuck, I forgot to do my spells. Give me a second. Give me a second.
It's all
Oh
good.
no. Anyway,
But
continue on. This is not my scene.
it's all good. But you just see 2 frost giants going after him after the bunny. And then at the same time you also hear from another side somewhere more footsteps. And Wolfguard calls out to the crowd again. Okay. Once again, everybody talk amongst yourself. Do your job. We are gonna be back in a couple minutes. Do not do anything stupid. And in doing so, he turns, ushers everybody to the back door area, and once everybody's inside, he slams it shut, and you see him fiddling with the lock for a moment. And now you guys are in...
I'm going to tap his shoulder and I'm going to go, but that wasn't what was supposed to happen, was it?
Wolfguard just, as he's still fiddling with the door, he just sighs. He's like, no, not entirely. But it's not the first. And it's not going to be the last of people getting upset and dumb shit happening. I just didn't think we would have someone who brought in a weapon. We definitely got to check people's pockets more often now. But as he finishes, he just stands up.
Octavia looks over her shoulder on the rapier on her back, like her fucking sword holster. She's like, ooh, yeah, maybe you guys should check for weapons more.
Yeah. He turns and he just walks over to the other councilman. And he is shaking his head and he initially walks over to Ravine, and those two are in deep conversation. But for a moment, you guys are looking inside this smaller-ish room. It's still rather big, but it's more long than just anything. Like, it's not it's any regular shape. And from what you can see, there's doors on the other side of the room, and there's the initial doors that you guys entered through. And there's like a couple chairs, there's some couches. You can see in the center what looks like a makeshift, like they're typically used for like bonfires, but they're more like industrial kind of standard, where it's safer and it's not gonna like try to start a fire inside of another place. Not like a fire pit, but no, yeah, actually a fire pit. Yeah, that's what it is. I solved my own issue there. But this room in particular, it's rather nice, matching what you guys saw originally back in the meeting room area, and then also what some of your rooms kind of looked like, just a tiny bit, but not as landish as always. Yeah. You just still see Wolfguard and Ravine talking to each other. And you see James sitting in one of the chairs. You see him like messing with his hands. You can probably guess that he's a bit anxious right now. You see Nyx kind of pacing back and forth. Will is standing off to the distance from Wolfguard and Ravine, and he's wanting, you can see his hands kind of going up every so often, wanting to say something, but he puts it back. And you can tell by the atmosphere that this was not supposed to go the way it did.
In the spirit of civility, I'm going to be judging your witness by their final decision.
You say that, and Nyx stops pacing and looks at you and goes, while the witnesses make their final decision, we have to state it as well. We also get to decide. But it's the witnesses who sway our votes. And then she goes back to pacing a little bit.
I see.
After a couple minutes, Wolfguard turns from Ravine, and he walks over to you guys, and he's just like, I am deeply sorry for what all happened. That was not supposed to go the way it did. I am slightly upset with Ravine, but he did do the right thing, but he knows the rules. No one's allowed to use magic whatsoever. Especially when there's a meeting. But either way, this gives us all a chance to relax and calm down and try to think things through. Leanne.
Yeah?
You're making a little bit of noise.
Am I?
Yeah, just a little bit.
The Geiger
Oh,
counter's
I
going
wonder
off
if it's
again.
It's a
Yeah.
little bit of like static.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. But yeah, Wolfguard just kind of pulls up another chair and just sits in it. And he puts his hands like together and puts his elbows on his knees. And you can see that he's in a little bit of deep thought. He's trying to contemplate something. Oops. What do you guys want to do? Damn it. Ah. Anybody wants to talk to anybody? Anybody want to do anything?
For the time being, Oric's just meditating, although he does hold the amulet he found last night while doing so, and it seems to glow for a second before going back to normal.
Okay. Then, Leanne and Evelyn, what would you two like to do?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
We don't really have any say in the vote, do we?
Is that in character, right?
Yes.
Um, James looks up. His hands a little bit shaky, and he just goes, "Well, if you guys can try to convince the witnesses to go one way, that kind of counts, but vote-wise, not really. Typically, those who come to us for aid don't get a say because obviously they're going to go one direction. They can't just say we need this and then go against it. It's kind of counterproductive. But like Nick said, if anything, we could have our own way and say all of us want to go with you and save the city, but if the people don't want it, they counter our votes. Our way of doing things is very unique. It's not like one you've probably ever seen before. He chuckles, but it's a nervous chuckle.
Not especially, but as I said, much has changed.
Yeah, so much. After probably a couple minutes, you hear footsteps. Actually, hold on. Let me make sure this is okay real quick. Shit. Why can't I not type? Just seeing. Okay. So after a couple minutes, everybody's still doing their thing. You hear some footsteps come in to the door, and it turns everybody's attention to it. And then the door, the doorknob. Man, I can't remember words. The doorknob is just kind of turning, and then it goes a little bit violently. And then Wolfguard, for a split second, thinks nothing of it, and then remembers, oh shit, right? And he runs all the way to the door and starts tinkering with the doorknob. And then, as soon as he's done, the door just slams open, and in comes two frost giants carrying a small bunny, a bunny human, in, and then tossing them in.
They do those little squeaky noises as they fall to the ground.
Yeah, you hit the floor rail, and it's a
Oh.
yeah, it's a thud. It's not enough to hurt you, but it's enough to nearly take the wind out of you a bit.
Hey.
Yeah, and the two
Well,
frost
that's not
yeah, the two
gone.
oh yeah, the two frost giants look at Wolfguard, and And common, they just said, "We found him. Is that all?" And Wolfguard just retorts back like, "Okay, that's perfectly fine." So either way, a lot of what was going on dies down, and the two frost giants turn, close the door, and Wolfguard goes back, tinkers with the doorknob again, and then walks over to you, Braille. And his
What does Wolfguard look like?
if you look in characters, you will see the hero forge I made of him. And he is a looming character. He is tall.
Trying to find him.
Yeah.
Wolfguard. Oh, he's oh,
Yeah, he's tall.
he tall.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. I really have to say, I am absolutely shattered. I will not pretty much be able to make any meaningful contributions to this session, really.
Okay.
I don't.
Just gonna go bed.
I've had a lot of late nights and I'm still kind of recovering from the basic, really not much or any good sleep that I got on the plane
Okay.
a few days ago. So
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, go take
not
care of
even a
yourself.
few, 2 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah, if you need.
Yeah, good
Sounds
night.
good.
Yeah, if you need some.
Good night.
Yeah, go for
Good
it.
night.
And it's 1:20 a.m.
Yeah, go to
Good
bed.
Fair
night,
enough.
sweet
Good
dreams.
night.
Rest well.
Sleep.
Okay.
Bam.
It's all good. But likewise, for you, Braille, you dust some of the dust off of you, and you turn and you just see this giant, like this is tall, and he
Oh.
he just speaks to you. Why did you do that?
Got attention, didn't I?
Yes, you did. But I don't know if you know the first couple of rules when it comes to meetings that happen here.
Do not.
Rule number 1, you cannot have weapons, nor can you use magic when there is a session entailed or happening. We've had too many issues with that happening.
It ain't magic, but sure.
It's still a weapon.
Good point. But so what? Do I go to jail now?
Not entirely, because granted, I would like to, but part of what you did kind of stopped the people from doing what they're doing. Even though what Ravine was doing was part of what he chose to do, you still ended up helping us a little bit. And he puts he makes the sign of just his fingers almost touching his index and his thumb almost like touching. It's like you helped a little bit. And since you didn't
Hey, I think. Go on.
And since you didn't know the rules, you get a warning. No more guns and no magic.
She kind of takes this into consideration. Nods. Alright, sure. So what's going on here? I just kind of came around because a lot of people were coming through.
Okay. I will let you know. And he goes on about explaining that this whole meeting was about Eltron, a city that is well known for mostly having elves, half-elves, humans, mostly those types of people, and how it has fallen, and how the witnesses are wanting to figure out the best solution, and if they would like to help the group, and he kind of gestures towards the others in wanting to help them.
Honestly, fair enough. Alright. Well, She kind of passes over to the group. Is my Soul Defender with me?
Uh, I'd probably say not at the moment,
Alright,
cause
just making sure.
they were able to get you, at least.
My Soul Defender left me behind, damn.
Yeah, they were just mostly
Anyway.
looking for you.
Fair enough. She kind of looks up towards the Ulrich and Octavia and she goes like, howdy, folks.
Hello, how are you?
Could be better. Knocked the wind out of me. But, you know, still trying my best. Uh, so, who are you? Who are you? Yeah.
We're
Were you
here
not present for
because
my explanation?
Well, I was there, yeah, but names. Y'all kind of polite. Your name is Starch, I believe. But,
Auric.
fuck. Pretend I didn't break the fourth wall there. Uh, your name is Ulrich, I think. I don't know your name, honestly, miss.
my name's Octavia, and she smiles and waves.
I see, I see. Well, my name is Molly Cheetah, and I
I
believe I
think
do
I
own.
think Peter Griffin.
Fuck off. Sorry. Uh, she goes like, well, I don't assume you're exactly in a fine position now, are we? Trying to get these all help. Seems a little rough on the edges, in my opinion. But, but, you all seem like fine folk. Uh, I'm sure you'll get it through, right? Hello?
That's all I can hope for.
Yep, definitely. So, I wanted to ask, how exactly do you plan to get these favors? Like the favors from people? How do you plan to, like, get it to not fall, quote unquote?
Or are you asking? Oh,
I'm asking the group.
okay.
Yeah. But yeah. Yo, go homies.
I suppose I didn't particularly have a plan as such. I would hope it would be a more sympathetic cause.
Well, sadly in this world, I don't think there's much sympathetic causes left in the world. But, you know, some people can be nicer than others. Uh, she thinks about it for a moment and she goes, tell you what, I am here to offer you a bargain. A deal, if you will.
I'm listening.
I see you're quite a small group. You're not very. You don't seem very. Well, you don't seem very manned and firepower. And you could use a few. Well, a pretty face, if you will. She points to her like bunny ears, and she goes, no offense to anybody here. Y'all are quite fine for yourselves. But what I'm trying to say is, I could accompany you. You know, help out when people need you. I don't know. Could be quite nice, wouldn't it?
I'd
Having
be
a
grateful
metallic.
for whatever I'd be grateful for whatever assistance you're willing to offer, but what's the catch?
The catch is you feed me, you give me a place to sleep. That's it.
That's doable.
What? I'm not a devil. I'm a bunny. God damn it.
I suppose that's reasonable.
Besides, wait, where the hell is cyanide? She kind of looks around, realizing that her steel defender is gone. That thing. God damn it. She kind of stomps the ground. Okay, here's the deal. I lost my dog.
Is that what that was?
Yes, my dog. Let's call it that. I
Very
need to
well
find
then.
that dog. Do you have any way to transport or move quickly or find something like scrap metal or something?
That's not particularly my fort, no.
Gosh darn it. Alright. Well, guess they'll find a way. They can get too far. In any event, what are your plans now? Do you have any plans? I don't. I don't know if you do.
Well, to put it rather simply, I was just going to travel the world and help people however I can until I have enough strength and resources to hopefully liberate Eltrion.
That's
And
quite
perhaps if I were
fine
so
then.
lucky, I'd find the princess along the way.
That's quite fine indeed, fella. Well, alright. Give me a moment. Give me like half an hour to find cyanide, and I'll get back to you. Alright? Uh,
Alright?
and she goes, alright, as a token that I will come back and not just double cross you, you can have. She kind of looks through her bag. Here, take this. And she throws you like a small set of Tinker's souls. I don't go anywhere without them. So keep them around, I'll come back for them.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye bye. And she kind of hops away.
So you're gonna go,
Iconic.
so you're gonna go through the doors that you were, you went through, or like pushed through.
Yeah.
You tried the door and you realize that it's locked.
Her ears droop a little.
And Wolfguard, his back's turned towards everybody because he's doing his own thing. He hears the door jingle. He turns, looks at you, sighs, walks right back, tinkers with the door again, and he opens it for you. He's just like, go do whatever you need to do.
She nods and just hops away.
As soon as you're gone, he just closes it, and this time just he makes something else. And so far from at least out like from a distance, you can't really tell what else has been added to the door.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you're
Love.
Oric just stands there bewildered, holding a new toolbox, and just sets it down next to where he was sitting.
Lovely. I assume
queen.
I eventually find my dog.
Yeah, you go out and you hear a lot of the people just chattering. But obviously you're on a mission. You're ignoring everybody. You're like, I gotta go find my buddy.
I'll go find my buddy.
Yeah. So you leave. You leave through the doors of the meeting room hall place, and you leave through the doors that are now just kept open. And you go out there, you look around, and initially can't find anybody. You walk for a little bit longer, more in the city, but not too far from the castle. And to your right, that leads down to some wooded area that's part of Sanctuum. You just see him. He's just there. He's just hiding. Or
Come on, buddy.
he kind of
Come on.
He just kind of comes out. He's looking around, like not too sure, but he comes towards you.
She kind of like has to stand on her tippy toes to pat him because he's medium, she's small.
Yeah.
She kind of pats him a little bit. Yeah. Alright, okay. You're faster than me, right? She kind of holds the heads in both her hands. And she goes like, "You're faster than me. You're gonna take me back to that place. No storm giants anymore, okay? I promise I won't shoot. Maybe."
Maybe. Yeah. They nod, and I'm guessing you hop aboard on them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you go do that, and they just take you right back to the castle. And initially, the giants a little bit nervous about letting you back in, but they look like they might have been told about something, so they just let you back in.
She just goes inside.
Yeah, and you head right back down the hallway, and people, some of them look at you, seeing what you're on, and then shake off the curiosity and go right back to what they were supposed to be doing. But there's a couple people that are just like, "What's that? That's cool." But you make your way to the room that everybody else was in, and you go and try the door, and initially the knob doesn't even turn. You're just like, what the heck? So you try it again, and this time it clicks, and then it opens on its own, and you're able to come right back inside the room that everybody else was in.
Cool.
Yeah.
She just goes inside and goes, "Thanks, fella." And she grabs her tools and just sits there on top of the cyanide basically has a saddle, but it's more like a throne, really.
Yeah. Okay.
And she just sits there happily.
Yeah. You're just sitting there. This has been an interesting day, at least for everybody. Maybe a little
I'm
traumatic.
chilly.
For everybody else, especially James, it's a bit traumatic.
Yep.
Because he was not expecting half of this crap. But like I said, everybody's kind of calming, and you see all the councilmen getting together. Like, they go in a circle, and they're just talking. You catch a little bit of what they're saying, and there's a couple of them. You can hear, at least from James, alongside Ravine. Both are more positive about wanting to help. And then you have Key, who sounds a bit unsure. With Wolfguard, you can tell he's also unsure, but you can't quite gauge if he's leaning more towards not helping versus helping. With Nyx, she's not really talking a whole lot. And Will, same thing, not really talking too much. You can see it a couple times he's saying something, but can't entirely tell what he could be saying.
Interesting.
Yeah. But after some more time has passed, Key comes up to you guys, and she just goes, "Okay, we are about ready to make our decision on what we're going to do. I will just let you guys know now, our decision is not final. Whatever we say does not reflect what the witnesses want. The witnesses have more say over what happens versus us unless we both come to an agreement. Currently, at least on our side, and as she has sighed and she's talking a little bit more, she sounds like she does not particularly want to help. But she goes, whatever we can agree on and whatever the final say is will be our stance. I believe you guys might like it, but don't get your hopes up. And looks at you, Auric, straight into your eyes. She's just like,
Well,
these decisions will be final once said and done.
I will carry on regardless of what assistance I do or don't receive, but whatever you're willing to help with would be much appreciated.
She nods, and she turns and goes back to the others. And a couple seconds go by, and they break, and Will motions for you guys to come with as Wolfguard goes and opens the door for everybody to leave.
Hmm.
You guys are following behind?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, you guys follow behind. Wolfguard stops you from going to your guys' chairs and actually keeps you off to the right-hand side, closer to where Nyx and... Could you stop sneezing? My cat was non-stop sneezing.
Crazy.
Baby.
But they put you closer to where Nyx and Will are in seat order. And you see Ravine pushing his chair back up as all of them stand next to their chairs and kind of just stand there. But you see Wolfguard go to the center, and his voice booms once again. Has the witnesses made their final decision? And at first there's no noise. But you hear a collective yes. It was the most in unison yes you could have ever heard. It's like they timed it correctly. It does not happen often. At least wherever everybody else has come from. That's not an often thing. And once said, you can see a group. Well, not a group, but you see a couple different types of people come up. You see an elf. You see a... hold up. Let me look at my notes real quick. Where are the notes? Is that it? Yes, there it is. Okay, I found it. Okay, likewise, you see a elf come past, like coming down, and then one by one you see all different groups. Like I said, you see an elf, you see a halfling, you then see a half orc, and then you see a drow, and then you see what looks like a human who has horns, but but with a weird tail. Not like a normal tiefling tail, more like one that represents someone who has dragon in them, like dragonborn blood in them. And you see this group. They step up, and in unison, they stand in a line and turn towards the council. And one by one, they all give their statement. You see the elf state, "We would like to help the travelers with their quest of saving Elteron, and as much as others may disagree, we think it is for the best that Elteron is saved to keep the balance." As she finishes, you see the halfling speak up as well and says, "We agree to help with the travelers on restoring Elteron. Likewise, we may not all agree about it, but like Willow has stated, it must be done. We have to keep balance." Once he's done, you see the half-orc take a stand, and in a deep voice, like a deep gravelly voice, he states, "We do not want to help the travelers with saving Elteron. Elteron has caused too many problems in the past, whether they intentionally know it or not. We do not want to help them whatsoever." And he steps back. And then you see the drow step up. And for a split second, he turns to look at the others. And you see the same nervous gesture that some of the others had done, similar to like what James was doing and Ravine, where they were like messing with their hands. And he looks back, and in a very hush voice that you could almost not hear what was being said, he goes, "We would like to help the travelers with their quest to help Elteron. I know even some of us have had our fair share of differences and grievances, but they are founders of Thea. They have shown people true safety here, and we have to keep the history alive with the city." And as each group is stating this, you, Orc, get a weird sensation in the back of your head. It's like a weird tingle. It's not one that hurts, and it's not one that initially caught your attention, but it grows a little bit as it starts from one side of the back of your head to the other side towards your ear. And a voice just peeks through, and it just goes, "These silly humans and their silly little problems. Why do they care so much about decisions when the decision is right in front of them? They want to help, but others don't want to help. In the need of history, or in need of brethren, or in the case of past disagreements. It fascinates me that they care so much about this, but can't look past their own grievances or their own desires. I don't understand these people, but at the same time, I'm curious about what they're doing." And as this voice is talking to you, you're kind of looking about, trying to see if this voice is coming from anywhere. And you also notice that your companions, they're not reacting to this voice at all. It's like it's coming from inside your head. But
Would he recognize the voice?
yes, you do recognize the voice. It was that dragon that saved you. Very same one. But
Ah,
if you want to continue, you can.
hey, no, go ahead.
Okay. I think I will stick around just a little bit. Do not fear when you hear my voice sometimes. I only want to use your eyes to see through them. You have a unique perspective on what's going on as this affects you. I can tell. Your thoughts linger with hope that everybody goes with this, that they help bring your city back. And I can tell that you are worrying. It's fine to worry. But I can trust that you got this. I've read the stars, my friend. They show me great hope for you. They also show that you have mighty companions with you. I can even see one in particular that she will be of greatest importance to you. Actually. And for a second, the voice is gone, and you still can hear the voices of everybody else giving their speech. And you hear the humanoid who has dragonborn in them. They give their final speech of saying, "We wish to help Elteron." And as they are speaking, their voice dies away, and you hear the voice of the dragon again. And he goes, "Actually, I see multiple people that will be helping you. You've already have quite a few of great importance. But I see one who is one with the gods. One who fears their own prophecy of their own. And I see another who fears for her own life. But I can also see that when you find her, you know what to do with her. And I'm not stating it to be uniquely weird. But even so, everything around you will be okay. I want you to trust me. And I hope you do trust me.
After a moment's pause, Orc whispers to himself, I believe I can, yes. Thank you for your guidance.
It is no problem. I'll always be here. But you cannot talk to me like others can. Not like the gods. They will answer to you. But I will come and go as I wish. I will bring more guidance from my own experiences of life, but also from the stars as well. I will tell you if anything changes, and I will tell you if where you're at is good. But do not fret what I tell you. Do not let the fear of what the stars say get to you. Use them. Use it as your wisdom. Look at it as a challenge and not a setback. Just keep that in mind, and we will speak again. And as
Understood.
his voice and the presence that you were once feeling dips away. And you are back to the presence of Nyx speaking. And it sounds like you did miss quite a bit of what was being said, but you can hear in Nyx's voice as your hearing is coming back that something definitely did happen. But to everybody else, Nyx goes on about how today is a great day of importance. And I'm going to try and get back into how she's talking. She states as she walks towards the group that is leaving. to go back to their chairs. Great people of Sanctuum and the witnesses who have come to give final votes. You today have made a great decision. Even though our vote was different than yours, we will go forth with your decision. And she turns to the councilman and you guys and goes, we will be starting up training for those who wish to give their assistance and the help of bringing Elteron back. We will make sure that it is back and safe once more. We will bring it back to its... And she pauses for a second on what she wants to say. And she nods to herself. She's like, to its greater New Years. And hopefully everything will be back to relatively normal sake. But training will start in the coming days. For everybody else, she turns to the witnesses. You are free to leave. Do as you wish. Get any food or drinks that you would like. Chit-chat if you would like. And if you have any other concerns with us, please come to us as needed, as we will be here. If you have questions for the adventurers, please keep it short, sweet, and to the point. Do not try to haggle them. Do not try any shit with them like you've tried with others in the past. But other than that, you are free to go. As soon as he says that, people stand up, and a lot of them are leaving. They're going out. Some of them are still staying and chatting, and you see a couple different lines forming, and a lot of them seem to be waiting on different people to come to them. But and so, Nyx walks over to you guys and just looks mostly at you, Orc, and goes, I hope you are satisfied with the answer that you are looking for.
Yes, thank you all so very much.
It is our pleasure. She looks to the others, and she grabs a hold of your armor and brings you to her level and just goes, the others did not want to help you. I and two others wanted to help you. I am not allowed to tell you their names. That is against our rules. But I'll let you know, some of them I do not trust. I know I am not trusted amongst others as well, but please watch your back with some. And as she finishes, she kind of lets go of you, but pushes you at the same time, and turns and walks to a section of people to talk to them. So yeah. The witnesses have concluded that they would like to help you guys now. And that's probably making a lot of you probably very happy.
It's definitely encouraging.
Is there anything you guys would like to do with each other or talk with anybody else if you would like? I'll leave that up to you.
You mentioned some of the witnesses were forming lines and wanted to talk to us.
Most of them were just in general. They form lines based off of where they're sitting, and a lot of them wait for some. A lot of them you can tell who they're going to be specifically waiting on, but you can also see that there is a line forming outside from the sitting area, because that's where most of the lines are, that are coming closer to where you guys are in particular. But they actually have to walk a certain way, that way they can actually get to a open area to talk. But yeah.
Alright, Oracle will take a deep breath and wait patiently for them.
Okay. As they come a little bit closer, the first one that you can see that walks up to you, She's just a rather short human, and she comes up and she's just like, "So you guys actually are going to save Eltoron, I'm guessing, and we're going to be helping you."
Yes, that's the plan. And I can't say enough how grateful I am for your help in this.
Well, I know a lot of us did not want to help, and I am sorry in advance for those who didn't want to help. It's just a lot of us come from different areas. Some of us have been negatively affected by the cities in some way, whether it is with Athabus or Eltaron or any of the other smaller places and towns. So I know a lot of us are hesitant to help, but a lot of them made sense. They want to make sure balance is restored. And I can't say enough how grateful it is to know that it will, hopefully.
If there's anything I can do on the matter, then it will be.
And she smiles.
And for whatever it's worth, when Elteron is out of its time of crisis, I will do what I can to address whatever grievances others may have of our city and how we carry it ourselves.
She smiles and she's just like, "Thank you. But I must get going. I know a couple others have things to say. Don't let their words get to you, okay?" And as she says that, she
I understand. Thank you.
she runs off. And then a couple other people come up and they ask you like some general questions like, "Well, how are you gonna do it? What are you guys gonna do? What's your guys' plan?" And for the most part, they mostly just want to be told, are you actually going to fix it? Are you going to be getting anything, magical weapons, so on and so forth. And a lot of it can be easily explained, like, yeah, we're just going to fix it. We're going to get it fixed. Because the plan entirely is still up in the air, per se. Because you don't know really who caused it. You don't know why it was caused. And for all you know, this could be a way bigger issue than anybody could ever think of. But as people come up, ask you questions, you get through them, the people are slowly dying off. There's very little people left. And actually, for this one, I'm gonna have you all do this for me. Can you all just give me a perception check real quick?
Sure.
Certainly.
Sure.
Okay.
That is a 17.
Okay.
That is a 14.
Okay.
Wow, that's a 10.
Okay.
Mm.
So, for you, Rail, with that 10, you don't notice too much. You're just like, there's just a lot of people that are just leaving. That's about it. You do notice that there's a couple people that are kind of scooting about, but that's about it.
I mean, I just got here, so yeah.
For you, Leanne, almost something similar. You don't notice too much. You do get a little bit of a sense that there's something more here, but for all you know, it could just quite literally be the fact that you're here, you're kind of the center of the attention a little bit, but not in the normal way. So maybe it could just be the fact that this is a different form of attention. So quite literally, you just don't notice too much besides what Braille kind of noticed. And
Hell yeah.
for you, Oric, you do kind of notice something. Off in the distance, close to where you guys were kind of sitting in that general spot, you faintly can see someone. It's like for a split second, they're there, and then someone walks across, and then they're gone. And you kind of just aren't sure. Kind of like, well, what do you feel?
A bit anxious that someone was there and then not,
Yeah,
especially given what he'd just been told about how not everyone on the council was on board of helping him.
yeah. But you see that, and you get this other kind of sensation. Initially, you feel anxious. You're kind of just like, what the hell? What's going on? But then you feel it's like a wave. It's like a little bit, it feels like how rain is, where it like drips onto you. But you get basically kind of rain like effect of relaxation, calm, happiness. And you hear very faintly a "I'll be watching." But it's not a voice you recognize.
Odd.
Do you mention that to the others by chance?
Yeah, it sort of has the vibe of something he feels like he should be scared of, but he isn't, so it's just more of a detached curiosity.
Okay. What you would like to say to the others?
Did either of you see someone over by where we were sitting a minute ago?
Listen, my eyes are big, but they don't see much.
I thought I just saw someone pass by there, and I heard them quietly say they'll be watching us. And it didn't feel malevolent. How odd.
Hmm. And I'm sure it's nothing I would worry about. As they say as they get fucking sniped from the third roof above.
I
But
suppose
yeah.
we have more than enough to concern ourselves with in the interim.
Yep. But alright.
Yeah. You kind of. I'll say for you, Oric, you kind of are probably thinking about it just a little bit extra longer. But in the end, there was. Everything's still fine. All fine and dandy, nonetheless. You see a couple of the councilmen just kind of talking together. You mostly just see Wolfguard, Nyx, and James talking to each other. It doesn't seem like they're discussing anything too serious at the moment. But you could tell, at least from Nyx's face, she doesn't entirely seem happy, but, I mean, granted, does she ever look very happy to begin with? I don't think she's a very happy woman. She's more serious.
Doesn't seem
Yeah.
like it. No, it's a stressful position.
Yeah. But yeah, that all happens. More people are still leaving. Nothing seems to entirely happen. So you guys are
Nice.
just kind of left there as the last couple people leave, and the councilmen will join together, and they say something, and a lot of them just turn to leave as well, except for James. He just kind of stands there.
So yeah.
But for a second, James kind of just has this look like he wants to say something to someone, but he just doesn't. Instead, he looks at you guys and just goes, "Oh, you guys are still here. Thought you guys would have left." Either way,
Mm.
you guys are still free to explore the rest of the city if you would like. It's barely even noon. I mean, you would think with how everything went, it would have been some other time, but surprisingly, this went by quick. You guys are free to do whatever you please if you want. You guys are free to come back and sleep in the beds that you once were in, if you would like to. They're free for you guys to use for as long as you need. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, I will pretty much just be here for a moment, and I can try to help you.
Mm-hmm. Would this be a good way to kind of end the session then?
Yeah, we can always do.
That's fine by me. I don't have anything else specific in mind.
Yeah.
Crow, I see that.
Is Crow and Chat being a
Yeah,
goofus?
yeah, I saying TPK, TPK, TPK.
Ah!
No.
Octavia fucking
No.
dies. She goes, "Oh no!" and just vomits up a rainbow.
Real.
Uh,
Alright.
but yeah,
I need to get going, but it was lovely having this session.
I'll
Yeah,
just
this was nice.
I'll just end it real quickly. I'll just talk to stream real quick, and I'll be back. Okay.
Okay.
Oh
See
yeah.
ya.
Yeah. Okay. And that was the end of the session. Holy crap, we got through so much, and guess what? We did not end like we usually do. Yay! I am so happy we got through so much. As you could tell, probably by the end of it, a lot of it was still ad-libbed. I had a couple things in mind that I wanted to get to, and I'm glad I did, and I'm so glad that Braille is now with us at this point, and is able to, is able to join us now. Look out for the, not next week, but the week after, that Tuesday. We'll be streaming, probably around the exact same time. I have to see about schedules, you know. Excuse me. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed the VOD. And I hope for the moment that everything went the way it did. I absolutely had so much fun. I think a lot of it was absolutely amazing, to be honest. It was something that a lot of it, like I said, was not planning for. You could probably tell a lot of it was ad-libbed, like I said. But I had so much fun. Hopefully, one day we'll figure out who this mysterious person is. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you guys want me to stream anything else besides D&D. I could definitely do that. I could try at least. I just have to see how everything goes. Besides that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in about 2 weeks or so. That could change in the future. I don't know. I also see you there, Crow. I see you. I'm gonna point at you. I'm pointing at you. Love you dearly. But yeah, I hope to see you guys, like I said, in 2 weeks. And catch me this coming Wednesday, hopefully, and Friday for both the Shattered Seas and the Walking Fish, because I will be there, and I will be, 1, a complete and utter idiot, and 2, a complete and utter idiot but a bird. And I will see you guys later. Bye-bye!